And let's go to Cowtown now as we welcome in TSN's NHL Director of Scouting, Craig Button. Always great to chat with Craig. How you doing, Craig?
I am really good, Rod. I'm glad we were able to connect. I know you were here in Calgary a little while back and would love to have joined you, but wasn't able to that day. So it's always my pleasure to join you. How are you?
Absolutely. I'm great. I couldn't be better, man. I couldn't be better. We're traveling. We're watching a lot of hockey. No complaints whatsoever. And I'm going to dive right into the deep end. I want your expert analysis on this. Of the winless teams in the National Hockey League, mindful that we're only a week in, who should be the most concerned? Montreal, Islanders, or their fans, team or fans? Blackhawks, Coyotes, Preds, Jets, or Flames? Who's should be the most concerned right now?
The easy answer for me would be Montreal, but you almost could see this one coming. I would say the Winnipeg Jets right now, because I see them as a really good team, as a team more than capable of being one of the last four standing. And they start their season in Anaheim and then go on to San Jose, and an opportunity to put some points against teams that I think are inferior. And they lose both those games in very different ways. They lose the game in Anaheim. John Gibson was brilliant. No Scheifele. Come back in San Jose, blow a lead. Goaltending was really subpar. And now on a Tuesday night in October, they got to go into Minnesota. And Minnesota's a hard out. They're a competitive team that can make life really difficult for you. Home opener in Winnipeg on Thursday night. I don't think you want to be 0-3 coming into that game. And right now, with no Blake Wheeler because of COVID protocol, I never like to get into this is a big game. But right now, the way that the Jets have played and lost their first two games, 0-3 is not a good look.
No, not at all. And the Wild, by the way, as you know, are 2-0. So this is a game that we're all going to be watching very closely tonight. But I don't know, Craig, is it today's NHL? Has it always been this way? With the Oilers' hot start, I felt like that home opener for the Flames last night was a very important hockey game. And they didn't necessarily give it away, but they were far from perfect. We both watched it. I saw your analysis. I got to think it's a little hot in Calgary these days.
Oh, I think they gave it away, Rod. I mean, you can be very kind. I mean, I don't know if you're wearing Calgary Flames underwear today, but that would be the kind of comment that somebody that wants to be an apologist. They played so well in that game, I thought. I thought in the offensive zone, they really, really pushed the Anaheim Ducks to defend. And again, if it wasn't for Gibson, that game would have been well out of control. But John Gibson is somebody you have to solve. That goes without saying. And I thought the Flames played really well. And then Noah Hannafin and Erica Branson decide that, defense in the National Hockey League, situational hockey, it doesn't really matter. It's 2-2. And then Noah Hannafin in overtime, he decides that he's going to try to make his best imitation of Bobby Orr. I know he grew up in the Boston area. He's no Bobby Orr. So there's how you fall on the wrong side of a game where you played well enough. Certainly had it under control, certainly had an opportunity to win it. And what teams like the Calgary Flames do, they play well enough to show you promise, but not well enough to emerge with the win. That's something that Daryl Sutter will address. He talked about it post-game on Monday night, and he wasn't too happy with a few of his players. And he didn't have to name names to know who he was talking about. But that's where the Flames are going to have to dial in. 5-game road trip into the East coming up here. You talk about things becoming really tenuous. Tell you what, Detroit, who's not as good a team as the Calgary Flames, if Calgary ends up in that game not winning, I'll tell you what, it'll be real serious for them.
And that's what I'm saying is usually it's like U.S. Thanksgiving that things get real tight. And I feel like it's just happening a little early. And by the way, this is what I'm trying to do, Craig. I was just live in Edmonton last week broadcasting from the pirate ship at the West Edmonton Mall. We're coming to Calgary this week. I'm trying to get along with everybody. The Oilers and Flames fans were ripping each other. I felt like Red Deer going, back off, both of you. Let's cover both teams. And the Stamps are giving me a Bo Levi Mitchell signed jersey to give away at the event that I'm speaking at tomorrow night. So I'm just trying not to offend anybody in Calgary for the first time in my life. You understand, don't you?
So what are you telling me, that Red Deer's the Switzerland of Alberta? Is that what you're telling me? It's like a Swiss resort up there at Sylvan Lake?
I'm telling you, it's right in the middle. You've got a map. You've been there many times. So stepping outside of Alberta, Battle 1 of the Battle of Florida tonight, whatever you want to call it, Chapter 1 is Lightning Panthers. I was just down there for 3 weeks. I chatted with Al Murray at the Pats game last week. This is the NHL's best rivalry. Two great teams ranked in the top 6 by NHL.com. You excited about this game tonight in Tampa?
Yes, I am, Rod. And, there's injuries. We know Kucherov isn't playing. So that being said, that playoff series last year, that 6-game series, it was fast, it was skilled, it was hard, it was competitive. That's how rivalries get built. And the fact is we know how good the Tampa Bay Lightning are and have been. And now the Florida Panthers, the little kid on the block, are saying, hey, listen, we can compete against you. Brian Engblom, who does color commentary on the Tampa Bay Lightning broadcast with Dave Randorf, said to me at the end of that series, he said, in all my years of broadcast, that's as hard and as competitive and as an in-your-face series as he's seen. He didn't say it was the only one. He just said it's as good, and there haven't been very many. Brian Engblom's been in a lot of games as a player and watched a lot of games as a broadcaster. And certainly, listening to him describe it that way, that's how I saw it. Joe Quenneville's a superb coach. John Cooper's a superb coach. You look at these teams, and I'll tell you what, it's fresh. It's fresh for the Florida Panthers to now come in and start to show, hey, Tampa Bay, you know what? We're not little brother here. We're not the one you can beat up on just because you were so much better than us all these years. I expect it to be a real hard game, and I'm looking forward to watching.
For sure, my man. And I think that's why in Orlando the gloves hit the ice to the amount that it did in the first of 3 straight preseason games. It was message sending time. It was awesome. And by the way, Bill Zito wants to make the Panthers, he said, a destination franchise. He signed Barkov to the 8 years, $80 million. They got Les and Reed Jackson there, so that automatically is going to make them winners, I believe. Just saw Reed at the Pats game the other night. Do you think that Florida could become a destination franchise? Because that's the goal.
I'll go there for $80 million.
Yeah, exactly. I'd pay $80 million to be there.
Here's what I would say. So Bill has gone in there. He made some changes and, got the team to another level. And, that's really important from a manager's point of view. Players want a chance to be successful, not just individually, but collectively. They don't want to just be putting in, their individual efforts and being the best they can be individually if there's not a greater reward out there. This isn't tennis. This isn't golf. This is a team sport, and it's incredibly important that a team, that's how you become not only a good team and a good organization, that's how you attract other players. That's how you keep players. When Jay Boomeister left the Florida Panthers, he was a born and bred Florida Panther. He was a high draft pick. He played very well down there. But Jay got to a point where he just said, this isn't a place where I can achieve what I want to achieve from a team point of view. The individual accolades were coming his way, deservedly so. But he just said, I'm out of here. And you can't blame him for that. He wasn't the only one, but I look at him as a player that's been drafted. So Barkov goes, hey, we got something good going here. That extends to Huberdeau. Ekblad signed a long-term contract. It's going to extend to their other younger players. And other players around the league are going, hey, that's not a bad place to go. I think I might want to go there. And I think that that's always an important step in being able to be a destination. Is, first of all, you got to be attractive. If you've got a real good presentation and people can look in, you got a chance to get players and to keep players.
Yep, they haven't won a series since 1996, as you know. But when I was down there, it came up every day with the people I was around. It was hockey people, but they do have fans. They just need to win. My last one for you, Craig, is the Kraken got bombed in Philly last night, 6-1. How do you feel about their first few games? Kind of going the way that you thought it might?
Well, I would say yes and no. I was surprised about them losing 6-1 in Philadelphia. Got away from them early, and they were never able to. It was like they were trying to climb a grease pole. They just couldn't. They couldn't get up there, and they kept slipping down. But early on in the season, they fell behind against Vegas. Found a way to win They lost the game late on the Chandler Stevenson goal. I know that he's one of your favorites because he played for the Regina Pats. So that's why I mentioned Chandler here. But also at the same time, they go and win a game in Nashville. I think they're going to be a competitive team. I think they've shown they're going to be a competitive team. Maybe score a little bit more than I thought early. Certainly getting beat like they did in Philadelphia. Watching how they go into New Jersey and play against a much improved New Jersey team, I think it'll be a good barometer. not for me, not for you, Rod, but for their own team, for their players, for their coaching staff, and say, hey, listen, that game against Philly was that game. This is a new game, a new opportunity for us to show who we are. I think they're going to be competitive over the course of the year. I said this from the outset. I don't think they're going to be as good as the Vegas Golden Knights, but I didn't think the Vegas Golden Knights were going to be as good as the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, who did? By the way, the Kraken 4th in the Pacific Division. They already have that first win, as you pointed out, and the Flames do not. And looking up at the Kraken are the Sharks, Kings, Knights, and Flames, but they haven't played as many games. Craig, as always, a wonderful chat. I appreciate it. Please keep up the great work, and we'll see you soon.
We will see you soon. Good luck giving away the Bo Levi Mitchell jersey. I mean, you won't have a tough time giving it away in Calgary. Bo Levi's a beloved quarterback in person here. And, at some point in time here when you're in Calgary, we're going to have to get together. And I look forward to it.
Thanks, Craig. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
Craig Button, TSN's NHL Director of Scouting. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.